3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. I'm your host, Dewey Bear, and joining us today is, well, we've got Roadie Pie. You know her, you love her. She's got lips as red as blood, hair as white as snow, and she's just here to talk about games.
Always. Thank you for having me again. I love talking about indie games with you. Have so much fun. Thank you for inviting me. Yay.
Mm-hmm. And our special guest this week is ChristopherClever. He's someone I've really enjoyed watching on Twitch, and I'm just really glad to have him in here. So, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Excited.
So yeah, let me see. So the first topic we'll talk about is what have we played this last week? So go ahead, Chris. Like, what's been your gaming this last week?
It's been a whole mess, dude. This is one of the things about me. I game jump a lot. Like, and I'm sure you guys have that problem too, considering the list of games you just gave me. So, but they came out with Katana Zero, and I don't know if you guys played that, but man, it was a lot of fun. It was very short. It felt like a very short game. They have a lot of extra little bonus things for replayability and stuff. I haven't gone back and done that. Kind of messed around with that a bit. Just super weird story. The soundtrack was phenomenal. Oh, yeah. If you've ever played Hotline Miami, this is that, but with a sword. It's just 2D platformer. You run through, and you just basically have to replay the level over and over and over again as like your plan out stage to like figure out how you're going to kill people throughout the level. And then at the end of it, it does a VHS like rewind and shows you in like a VHS tape format all the kills you did, which is really dope. Like, it's awesome. So that's probably the game I've played focused on this past week or two. Other than that, I've been doing like Apex Legends, and I just did Skyrim yesterday, which is so much fun to go back to. Don't remember anything about it, but I haven't really touched up on any like actual indie games in a while. Besides, I think Katana Zero. But yeah, that's it. I think that was my week.
I believe we talked about Katana Zero. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we did, because it looks so, like, the art style is fantastic, and it looks so like polished, and the story looks like it's so interesting. You know,
they did such a good job on the animation specifically and it's so satisfying when you run into a room and you cut into this guy in slow motion, dodge a bullet and knock it back into this dude, and then throw a beer bottle at the guy way across the room, and then you successfully complete the level. It's so satisfying, like when you finally hit the level.
There was a 3D game that did that. Like, what? You were like this black humanoid creature, and you're destroying these red... Like, it was all just polygons, and what was that? Everything moved only when you moved. What was that game?
Super Hot.
Super Hot, yes, Super Hot. Yeah, so Katana Zero, it's like a combination of Super Hot and like a 2D. It's sort of like a roguelike 2D, but it's not technically a roguelike because you're not like going through and exploring it. It's a storyline. It is a straight linear story.
Straight pay. Now, it would be cool if they released like a bonus DLC to make it a roguelike. That would be so awesome. I would have that. Yeah. But yeah, it is a linear story. But it is a very heartfelt story, to be honest. It kind of surprised me, caught me off guard. But it was awesome. It's a very, very cool game.
Cool.
Devolver Digital has a habit of finding those gems that are just just fantastic.
Yeah.
So, perfect amount of like heartstrings and violence in the same moment. Well, I guess I have to feel things.
Yeah. Gonna feel things. And what about you, Roadie Pie? What has your week been? You said it was weird.
Yes. This week has been going back, finishing off some games that I might have gotten like close to the end or like halfway through, and I kind of like just left them. So I started with The Big Secret of a Small Town, which is a kind of like it's more of a point and click game, but erring on the hidden object side of things. It's quite a nice game. It's quite a nice little game. You know, it's you've got to this guy who has the actual power of the town, He holds a real power and he takes out the mayor, and you've got to try and stop him basically. And you go through all the underground parts of the town and everything, and you solving all the puzzles on your way. And it's, you know, perfectly fine, perfectly nice story and everything, until you get to the very last puzzle, and then it is an absolute nightmare because you cannot skip it. And you basically you've built this laser, and you've got to try and get it looks like you're almost on a chessboard, and you can move up and down and left and right, and you've got to try and trap him to like catch him in the laser, and he won't go on these 2 squares that you think is going to
So it's like proper
him.
difficulty, like wow.
Yeah. It's like the devs did not want you to finish that game.
I'll come back to this in 6 months. It'll be
which is exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
I left it. I probably left it longer than 6 months, and I was like looking through my games, and I said, I really want to like do a quick game and finish it. Oh, why don't I try and finish this again? And I had to scour through forums and look on YouTube, people's playthroughs and everything like that, and everybody had the same problem and managed to get it in the end. But ridiculous puzzle, absolutely ridiculous. Bad. That's such bad game design.
There's definitely a difference in that and actual like good difficulty. Like you can tell when a game is well written and they have developed it correctly, and they had gamers actually test through and make sure. And then there are the developers who test, and they're like, oh yeah, this is plenty, like this is difficult, and then they're like, you know what, let's double those numbers just for the sake of making it insane. And it's like Diablo 3, no. Diablo 3, they did that, and oh my god, what are you doing? Well, we wanted to take long. Well, I'm not going to play the game anymore. So like
exactly.
Core audience.
Oh, exactly. I'm surprised like how many people gave that game a thumbs up. So yeah, that's again, I'm going to give it a thumbs down for sure. And then I went back to playing Emily is Away 2, TOO, and it's like, it's nostalgia for those old messaging, internet messaging systems you used to have, and you basically like a high school sort of college student, and you establish some friendships, and maybe these friendships go places, but they end in absolute horror because maybe you slipped up and did a tiny lie, and that lie gets blown way out of proportion. I don't know if I want to spoil it for people because maybe people want to play it, but I thought the reason that my girlfriend hated me was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And apparently she can it's not just the lie that I told, but also I've read on other people's reviews, and if you did like something else, she'd hate you for that as well. And it was just like, oh, for goodness sake, there's not I don't think you can win at that game. I'm not sure
you're dating a middle schooler is what you're saying.
Yeah, you're pretty much. So yeah, all drama. Like, I don't know you anymore. You're not the person I thought you were. It's like, but it was just, oh, we're okay. yeah, it's a instant messenger game. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and another thing that was annoying is like I was having 2 conversations with people. So what you do is you select the answer that you're going to have, and then you have to just bash the keyboard typing anything, and it will automatically write that out for you. But you have to, but sometimes it's timed, and I was in this timed thing, and it was like like that, and the other person says, "Are you listening to me?" And I was like, "Well, but yes, I'm listening." I was just, it says, "Well, I'm just going to get a drink," and then you sort of accidentally put not the correct kind of answer to what they're talking about, and they say, "You're not listening to me," and then when you reconnect with them months later, they say, "Well, I just felt like you weren't replying fast enough to me." And I was like, what are you talking about? I was hammering the keyboard. Oh my god.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
I always find it awkward in games that make it like mimic real life like that, like either instant messenger or when you have to go do things like, oh, you're investigating a crime and it's like you have to log into the school's library computer and figure out the password, and it's so awkward because there are scripted events and there are only certain areas you can click, and it's never like free form like, oh, let me just go type whatever, and just anything. Let's go look at Disney.com. That could have been a way.
Yeah, I'm glad I finished it. I'm so glad I finished it.
Yeah, I would have given up in like 20 minutes. Like I don't know this person.
It's so 1990s. It's very interesting. I'm hearing an echo. Like is that where is that echo coming from? Yeah, I'm getting an echo. I think it's on your end, Rhodey.
Is it?
Do you have two microphones on?
I shouldn't have.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where the echo is coming from. Maybe I have an application open that's playing it.
It could be something from my mixer. Let me see if I can pinpoint it.
You know what?
No, it's not my end.
Okay. Test. Okay. I don't know where it's coming from.
Give me just a moment.
Okay.
I'll do this.
As we sort of figure that out, so as far as my week in gaming, so this week is the Stack Up Charity Week.
I had a couple more.
Oh, you have a couple more. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I thought you.
So, also Agent Walker.
Agent Walker.
Finished, Secret Journey. So another hidden object game. That was good. That was a good pace, and I got it done like fairly quickly, and there wasn't like really any awkward like puzzles or anything like that. But it's only been given mixed reviews. I think the only problem I would have with it is the story. You kind of just like go through the zones, so they did different like scenes. And you're not really connecting with the story of what's happening. I think that's the only issue I would have. But fairly solid hidden object game. And of course, try to finish Perils of Man. Hate that point and click game. So I played that while I was streaming on Saturday. But before that, so it's free login weekend for people wanting to go back onto Final Fantasy 11. And so I did. No, it's not the weekend, it's till the end of this month. So I logged in. I wanted to show people like my character, and to because I used to play that game for maybe like a decade or something. So got all the jobs to level 99, all the skills up. Also saw how bad of a hoarder I am. But it was kind of sad because you got to see like there's no like there's hardly anyone playing, and I was checking the friends list. We saw like these messages also popping up that you get while you're offline, and people were asking like where I was and stuff. And then an old guild leader was on, and he said that he's been playing by himself for like 2 years, and he's just just everyone had gone, so he's been like soloing, and it was just really heartbreaking.
That's so sad. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That is really sad. It's always worse to be playing a multiplayer game by yourself.
Yeah, it was just like, oh no, I feel so bad for him. And we set up like a time when we could like play together. So that was really nice. Something's come out of that. So we're gonna start playing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as much as we can. So yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Wow. Oh my word. Yeah, playing it all by yourself.
Yeah. But that's been my week. So yeah, sorry, you can go ahead and tell us what you've been playing.
Oh, 3 Extra Lives just set a mood. Slowly closes out Guild Wars 2 while that he's been playing by himself. Yes.
Oh,
I know that. Final Fantasy 11, yes, it still does have servers, and they said they were shutting it down, and then they just decided to, let's just keep updating it. Because that's how Square Enix shuts down things, apparently. So yeah, it is shut down, but it is still regularly getting updates. So yeah, my week, besides all the regular stuff, the interesting thing was that we had a stack up charity this week, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to stream for this, because I was like, I mean, I don't just want to stream like my regular old MMOs for a charity week. Like, that seems a little odd. Like, it's a special event. I should be playing something I don't have. And I was looking through my Steam library, and nothing seemed right. And then I remembered that, so I betrayed Steam and went on my Twitch library. So you know how if you have Twitch Prime, you get like these free games every week. I discovered I had Broforce.
Oh man, that is a fun game.
And I've never played this game before. And I have to say, it is a blast. It's so good.
Over the top, and I love that. It's just ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. It's... I keep getting surprised with every time I unlock a new bro, and it's like, they have another one? And another one?
Yeah, it's like, that's John Wick, right?
It's just insane how developed this game, how overdeveloped this game is, really. Like, so much. It's so fun, and it just kind of reminds you of what your standards should be for these pixel art action games. Yeah. Like, my word, this game's amazing. And I think it would be unfair to consider it a standard even because it's so good. I'm sorry, excuse me.
No, you're fine. It has great like little pixel graphics and all that stuff, and I've seen better as far as like pixelated graphics go. But like the content is there, and that is so important to me. Like it's same when you look at games like Undertale, where it's like you might take a look at that and go, "Oh, what is this?" Like this because the graphics are fun and cutesy, but it's like you could have had a better artist do this. But when you play the game, you're like, "Oh, that makes total sense." Like. It fits it perfectly, and I think Broforce is one of those games that does that.
Well.
Yeah. It's not one I've played, but it's always a suggestion on my Steam storefront, and it's just it looks amazing.
It's great couch co-op game, which I'd also recommend. I've played with friends on the couch, and next thing I know, it's 5 hours later. We've been just goofing off on Broforce all night. It's super fun.
Yeah, I've only played the single player so far, but I do want to like get on with some people online because it was so fun. It was so fun. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm looking forward to streaming it some more. So yeah, Broforce, highly recommended. It came out in 2015. It's still getting updates, and I just discovered it. So Twitch library, thank you. With that, all of our daily gameplay. We've got a couple honorable mentions before we go into the release list. And the first one is an old game getting a re-release. Actually, both of them are old games getting re-releases. We have Dan Cop, which is Daniela on Duty. So this is a pixel art stealth game, 2.5D. Where you basically just play as this cop who is trying to sneak around terrorists, or I think there's other scenarios beside terrorists, but it's a little stealth game. You gotta avoid everyone.
Yeah, try not to die hard.
Yep.
It looks great. It looks, like if you like little stealth games, it looks like something people could get into for sure. Obviously not my kind of thing, but I just love the style of it and the story as well.
Yeah, the look of it looks great, but also I've always been fascinated by stealth games. Like what was it, Stealth Bastard that came out? Oh man, I played the crap out of that. I think they changed it to like Stealth Inc. Just for the name, but...
Oh yeah.
But I had that actually on my mobile phone. It came out and it was made with like Game Maker Studio or something, and I was like, this is impressive. Like, just two guys got together and made this. I think it was two guys. I don't remember. But but it's anything stealthy, like where you kind of have to sneak about, and you know, you fail a couple times, make your way through is always fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one looks fun. I love the 90s hair, my word.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, it's 31 levels, 4 to 6 hours of gameplay, no kill goals for harder challenge, time goals for speedrunners, and 2 different endings. And it's 20% off right now, and it's £4.15.
That is nice. Our next past title that is now out is Drascula, The Vampire Strikes Back. Regular viewers will recognize the Alcachofa Soft, the developers. They made a ton of 1990s point-and-click games, and this is another one that they're bringing to Steam after many years away.
Yeah, we bring it up because it's like it's nice seeing them bring like their IP to Steam gradually. I just don't know if it's completely translated, because it looks like from the trailer, it looks like some of the screenshots, it looks like still a lot of it is in Spanish, but some of it isn't. It's strange. I don't know what they're doing.
That's a possibility. Well, if you're bilingual, then no problem. Yep.
It's a good way to sell your game. Let's just assume everybody speaks multiple languages.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got this.
But I did not really realize that Spain was such a mecca for point and click games back in the back in the 90s and 2000s, but they really did release a lot of games, my word.
Yeah.
Not Alcachofa. There's a few other studios that I've been finding. It's just like, wow, this is something. I did not know Spain. I did not think of Spain as a game development country. But yeah, you learn something new. All right, and with that, we can start our Steam release list. We have 11 games this week. I could not trim it to 10. I just couldn't decide what to leave out, so we'll just go through 11, and yeah, we'll go through it. So our first one, Monday, May 13th, is I don't think it's an entirely indie, but it is A Plague Tale: Innocence. They clearly got published by Focus Home Interactive, so it's Osobo Studio is kind of small. And why do they have a live action trailer? But yeah.
So A Plague Tale: Innocence, I've been seeing pop up on Twitch a bit. I have no idea what's going on, but I know that there are lots of rats involved, and there are lots of I believe the trailer had some of it too, but like I just happened to catch a glimpse of a guy just being like, I guess, eaten or bitten by rats, and they're oh, look at that. That's just it's like Fate World War Z with all the zombies like climbing the wall, but with rats. And so for me, I was like, I don't know if I can play this, but it looks phenomenal. Like it really does. Like I don't know really what it entails, and I would be interested. It has piqued my interest, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It does look. So it looks really interesting. It's drawn me in, but again, it's one of these like stealth games. But I really, it's one of those games I would really love to watch someone play.
Yeah.
And just see the story unfold. So apparently it's quite like sort of heartwarming and horrifying at the same time. So I want to watch someone play this. Yeah. So if any of you streamers out there are going to be streaming this, please let me know.
Yeah. So the little brother is actually it's a brother and sister, and it's not escort quest. The little brother is actually very useful because he's smaller. He can get into a lot of places that the sister can't. He can also there's some like stealth things that he can do that the sister can't. So there's interesting mechanical things where sometimes you're controlling the sister, sometimes you're having the brother go do something. And also you can't fight these guys. Like these are like 6 foot tall Templars, like with swords and armor. Like you're not gonna fight them. So it's all about you figuring out how to indirectly beat them or escape them. And so it's this very interesting a sort of plot, and I thought that was really, really, really cool. There have been a lot of Black Plague games coming out with a sort of like they add sort of a fantasy element to the Black Plague, which some people would argue is like, oh, that's a little bit revisionist, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, it kind of gives the mood. Like a lot of people back then, people didn't know where the Black Plague was coming from, so to have it kind of be more of a fantasy cause or a fantasy element to it, like when back then when people saw rats, if they had any inkling that rats were causing it, it would be terrifying to see a rat. But
yeah, absolutely.
So it's just kind of it's just a neat it's neat how they sort of do this. And I'm glad it's not zombies.
I mean, to be fair, it's I love horror and I love zombies in general, like I always have. But it seems like when the zombie thing was popular, everybody started developing games for it all at the same time. And so then like 4, 5, 6 years later, they're like, voila, zombies. And it's like this, it's like, oh, there's so many now though. There's so many games. Like it's just almost too much. So it's kind of nice and refreshing to have something completely different that's,
Oh yeah. And that's the thing that's the direction that bothers me with like Black Plague plots is they almost always make them zombies. It's like, guys, great idea. Yeah. Black Plague, but it's zombies. And I'm just like, no. Yeah. You're not creative for thinking this up. And this was actually kind of cool where it's the rats that are menace, but also the Inquisition.
Yeah, I see the kind of puzzle element there too, where the little kid just pushed the crate off and she climbed up. Reminds me of what was it called? Was it Brothers?
Oh yeah, Two Brothers. Yeah, that was heart-wrenching as well.
Yeah, that's a game like no spoilers, but guys, go play it. Recommend it for sure.
Yeah.
This looks fantastic. I'm watching the video now. Yeah. It looks really good.
I was going to say I played it. I won't be playing it a second time round to get the achievements.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And apparently the brother is also infected with a disease that is probably not the Black Plague, but he has a disease. And so that's just like, oh, so is the little brother gonna die? Like it's just like you're kind of like, oh, am I gonna be like just feeling horrible about myself after finishing this game?
And that's the thing when I play a lot of narrative games, it's how do I want to feel afterwards? Because it's like, it's great having drama and everything like that, but do I want to be left feeling kind of like broken after, because you invest so much in these characters, and then if something heartbreaking happens to me, it's like, well, that's ruined my mood for the week.
I find it great. I find it powerful. Like something like that can, I don't let it ruin my mood for the week, but there will be stories, whether it's movies, games, and things happen, and if it's really well written and the pacing's good and the character development's good, and they hit me in the feels that hard, then I'm like, man, you guys did a fantastic job, because these are pixels on a screen, I think that's a really big feat for someone to achieve when they make a game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's got 94% on Steam with 1,300 reviews, and it costs $44.99. So it's like a full kind of AAA release. They do have a Coat of Arms DLC, which I'm not entirely sure what that is.
It's just a jacket made of mannequin arms. That's all.
And
that was a terrible joke. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. No, it's fine. I was looking at it. It looks like
that's a real dad joke.
Statue things or something. I don't know. It's strange, but yeah, here it's $39.99.
Yeah. I'm only seeing about 8 to 17 hours. I'm seeing 17 hours pop up a lot in like the review times. So I'm not entirely sure if that is the length, but I've been hearing from other people when I've been asking what they thought of the game, and they said it felt a little bit short. Like you definitely get that nice, like, if it's very story driven, 10 hours, that's a season of a show. But
of course.
But still, like, a lot of people are like, they only have so much money, so $45, this may be your AAA of the year that you get. So no, the full price game. What else has Asobo Studio done? So they did Zoo Tycoon Oh, okay. So they look like a contract studio because they've done stuff for Disney. They've done stuff for. Looks like they were doing stuff for Disney up until 2018, and now Plague Tale is not for Disney. It's for.
Is this the actual developer, or is this just a publisher?
Asobo. Yeah, Asobo did that work, so that's a developer.
So yeah, I've seen people do like terrible mobile games for like 5 years and then release their AAA title. I mean, things like that happen just to make enough money to continue developing the one big thing they want to do. So this could be it. This could be the thing that they've been working on.
Yeah, all of their other games look like they were doing it for other franchise. Yeah, all of their other games are working for other franchises.
Those were paycheck games.
Yeah.
Those were let's do this until we can release our AAA, which is awesome. I think that's great. Yep. I mean, sometimes you have to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So good job on them. They're hopefully Asobo Studios. It looks like they're going to be a household name now. So if they keep doing games like this, so. And with that, what was the cost in the UK?
$39.99.
$39.99. Okay, thank you. When we have the Canadian on, we also are able to get the Canadian prices, so that's always interesting to hear too.
Yeah.
Our next title is Star Impact. Now we go from, arguably AAA or at least AA to a bit more indie. This is a 2D platformer, very fast. I was on the fence on putting this on the list quite a few times, but I kept looking and going like, there's some really clever design here. Because it's not really a looker of a game, but it's got some clever design.
I was mesmerized.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fast pace reminds me, I don't know how the game plays as far as like, if you die, do you just start the level over and keep going and just try to make it to the end? Like kind of Super Meat Boy-ish,
Yeah.
Or you have to learn, okay, I messed up on this one part, so the next time I do it, I have to fix that and fix this, whatever. Because that's what it kind of feels like. I'm not a big fan of the graphics, just because I feel like they could be a little more well-polished. But the gameplay, it looks like if I played it for a couple minutes and go, oh, let me try this out, I might sit there for like another hour. Just it depends how it feels.
Yeah, that's exactly
some games you pick
my
up the controller and it's like, but
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, every week I ring platformers and I say, yeah, no, this is definitely not something I can play. But so someone can be this good as they're showing in the trailer. It's like I can see someone getting very addicted to this and trying to get everything absolutely perfect and pulling everything off here. It looks fun. It looks fun.
Yep.
I see there's a score and a timer too. So there's a score and a timer. I'm just kind of browsing YouTube gameplay video, like actual gameplay. And it seems that in the beginning of the game, it's a lot slower, which is interesting because they put the fast-paced parts in the trailer.
Right.
Oh, yeah, they probably do start out slow. That's a good
kind
idea.
Build it up. Yeah, but to train people to kind of learn how to play the game is probably the proper way to do it.
So they claim it is a retro roguelite, so I'm not entirely sure about the rogue elements because in the description I didn't really see anything that told me too much. But it's only about 1 to 4 hours based on the reviews. But if it's a roguelite, maybe there was like first playthrough or something that people are running on. So not entirely sure.
It's 20% off right now, so it's £4.63.
Yeah, so $6.39.
Not bad.
And who are Me Games? This is Me Games' first title on Steam, so good job. You made it on the list.
Hey, if your game works to completion, that is a success.
Yes. And
talking to you, Daisy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, good old Daisy. Yeah, I kept looking at this over and over, like, am I going to cut it from the list? But then I would see the gameplay, and it's like, I kind of want to play this. So I kept it on.
I would rate it at one of those games that kind of like those mobile games that I play where I might jump in and goof around for a bit, and it's kind of more time waster than really like a game that I want to throw a bunch of time into. Yeah. So the 1 to 4 hour mark, if that's how long it takes, is actually pretty good because it's like, oh, you can just kind of jump in and play until you beat it over the week or two, you know?
Yeah, might be a good single stream thing. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, and with that, that is all of our Monday releases. Next, we have Tuesday, May 14th, and we have Sumatra, Fate of Yandi. All right, so this is a point-and-click adventure game, so right up Rhodey's alley. But it's the pixel art was really nice. I kind of perked up when it was like, oh, Sumatra, because I lived with Indonesians for 5 years, so I'm always interested when I see an Indonesian game pop up on Steam. I don't think this is actually developed by Indonesian developers though, but I'm at least perked like, oh, maybe they had an Indonesian developer or something, because they at least got the flora and the fauna roughly right, and of course the look. It definitely has that look. So
yeah, when I looked at this game, I wasn't 100% sure about it, because I like the style of this graphic style. It's very old school point and click game, but seeing what the puzzles are and stuff, it doesn't. A lot of point and click games, you're rummaging around, you're clicking on things, and you're seeing, oh, what does this do? What does this do? Wait, can I pick up this? Can I do that? And it looks like it's quite bare. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of stuff you can interact with. So I'm worried that it's not. There's not a lot of, or the puzzles are like really obtuse or something like that. So yeah, I would be worried about what the puzzles are like for this.
It definitely doesn't seem very easy to tell like where you should click, that's for sure. Like, because I'm not seeing anything sort of highlighted, which I mean can be fine if most of the screen is clickable.
Yeah, the thing is, it's just like, pixel hunting's not that great. It's not that fun, really. Because it's like, oh, is it like a tiny pixel that you just like got to click on or something like that, and you're going
when
through.
They put it all obscure, and you're like, what do I do here? Like, oh, you have to click on that little cup inside the hut, and you're like, what? I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm not entirely sure I would pick this game up just because I wouldn't. It doesn't look like the puzzles would be that clear or something, but I'd watch someone else play it to see first.
Yeah, I do like the point and clicks where it like changes your cursor when you find something interesting, or where it kind of points your character. Like I've seen some with like question mark either on the cursor or on the character's head. It's like, hey, like what's over here, and it kind of hints to you, and that way it's not a complete waste of time where you're sitting there for 20 minutes or googling it. What do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
But I do like it still, like you said, where I still like it where there's a lot of options. So there are still, you can rummage through drawers and stuff. Like I like that in point and clicks because it's like, oh, I wonder,
what's in
you
here?
might find some exposition or some things that like lead the story further, even if it's just optional.
Yeah, that's another good thing as well. It's like not necessarily being able to pick up and use, but just like click on it and just hear what the protagonist is wants to say about it, and say, oh, or it's like, oh yeah, this is happening, and oh, what's this, aha, they crack a joke or something like that, and it's like it's great.
Yep. The little upsell for it is lost and alone after a terrible landslide, Yandi must find his way home to this old school point and click adventure set deep in the Sumatran jungle. Will he make it out alive? So old school point and click kind of tells me, so this is going to be moon logic, right? I am kind of curious about that. Whenever I see old school point and click, is like, so moon logic. Gotta combine the banana with the stick to make a sword.
It says with some unique and modern twists.
Modern twists. There's an excellent review by Crazy Pyro 69. Typical nice username. But he's got this really good review where he kind of said that like teacher taught him a new swear word, which I don't actually know that word, but I'm not going to say it. A grossing story. but so well-made backgrounds. The issue is that some of the puzzles were frustrating, and it was only about 3 hours long.
Right, and there's no autosaves either.
Yeah, no autosaves,
Oh,
and there's a
wow.
delay between clicking through dialogue or interacting with an object. That's just a little bit too long. So, yep.
I feel that because input delay can be very annoying in games like that. I like how you also said a few modern twists. I thought it would be funny. The only reason the game's 3 hours long is if the developers gave up, and the modern twist was that he finds a cell phone and calls someone, and they come and pick him up.
Hey, I'm at the slope near this particular.
I just
depth.
used
Like,
Google
we know where you're
Maps. I
going.
know exactly where I am now. Let's go.
Here's my
Roll
GPS.
credits.
Oh yeah.
This is 10% off right now, so it's £4.49.
£4.49. All right. Yep. Yeah, it's $6.29 US. Cloak and Dagger Games has made quite a few titles. They have a football game, Legend of Hand, A Date in the Park. So we've got it's not their only, but they make point and click adventure games as their thing.
So this one seems a bit more like actual serious story based, because the others sounded kind of like a bit more goofy, which is I mean, this still could have some goofy charm in it, but
yeah.
All the reviews I've read on this one really point out that the story is really good, but they mention like frustrations with the gameplay. So
might not be for me then.
Yeah. But yeah, Sumatra, Fate of Yandi. Our next title is from Wednesday, May 15th. And it is, you might have seen this around. I've started to see content creators posting this one. Druidstone, The Secret of the Menhir Forest. I think it's Menhir. Menhir is how it's pronounced, but I could be wrong. This is one of those, if you're familiar with, it's one of those tactical games like Banner Saga or Divinity Original Sin. It's got sort of that feel to it. But yeah, tactical turn-based RPG from the makers of Legend of Grimrock. Oh, these are the same developers. Okay.
A Legend of Grimrock, was that the one that was like kind of like you walk through and it's I don't remember what you call them. I remember playing that a long time ago. And it was
Grimrock 1 and 2. Every action, every turn counts as you control your party of heroes through challenging handcrafted missions in the ancient mist-clad Menhir Forest. Yep.
It looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say that the graphics on it are really phenomenal. Like I like how it's because most games like this, you have your grid and you have it set up, and it kind of puts the grid in the background instead of the foreground. So it's a little less noticeable, and you notice the environments instead, especially in the grass areas.
Yeah,
I really love the way that looks. So it's not evidently a game like that. It's you kind of feel more immersed.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the tactical, like turn-based, especially the fantasy-based, those games, they've not really improved the graphics so much in the last few years. But this one's really stepped it up, and it's looking fantastic.
I think they all kind of had to start stepping it up with games like, well, I mentioned them, the Banner Saga and Divinity Original Sin, like particularly Divinity Original Sin 2. Looks phenomenal, but you're definitely right. Like this genre has really suffered until like the last couple of years, and suddenly over the last few years we're getting all these beautiful turn-based RPGs.
Yeah.
It's turn-based tactical. Yeah.
I think you owe it to your fans and people playing the game for the graphics are a good thing to have too, but the animation specifically I think is the one that I would focus on. Yeah, because when you go to attack a character from one little square away, there's so many games that are like, "Ka!" and it's like one little, and it's the same all the time. There's no, So particle effects, like things like that, really impress me. Particle effects, animations, death animations, like really good, especially if you have a variety of them for different characters. Like, it just makes it feel clean and really good every time.
Yeah,
beautiful. It's 5% off right now, and it's going for £18.51.
Yep, 2374, and they've got 86% positive, which isn't bad for turn-based tactical. Which, like 86%, because turn-based tactical people are really picky. I've noticed, like even some of the most phenomenal turn-based tactical games I've played, like get like it's an 81%. It's just like wow.
Yeah, it's 15 to 20 hours long, so I think that's quite really good for the charging.
15 to 20 hours, yeah, mostly pretty positive. So, what's a negative review talking about?
The negative review. It's not Final Fantasy Tactics.
Its biggest problem. It's not. Honestly, it's okay. It's not bad. Okay, so he's not recommended it because it's just okay. All right. Wait, that's nice to know. Yeah, it looks nice, and of course, by Control Alt Ninja. Wait, they're not the same developers as Grimrock. I guess they have a different studio now. I wonder what Grimrock Studios is on this. That's why. Almost Human Games. Was there a split, maybe, or are these developers that left that studio?
I'm not really sure.
How very interesting. Maybe there's some juicy drama to look up. But yeah, 35 challenging handcrafted missions with playtimes ranging from 15 to 45 minutes. And then they also have non-combat puzzles. Yeah, this looks like a fun. This game.
This would be something I would hang out and play like on stream with chat and just chill out. And find out where it takes us.
Yeah, this is like a long weekend, like playing. Those kind of games I like them because they can be quite relaxing because you're just working out, the right tactics and everything, and it's you can take your time a bit. So yeah, I like those. I like taking time and thinking those kind of games.
Yeah.
It's a good game also for when you're streaming and you can just like talk to chat. It's really easy for that.
Yeah.
All right. So our next title is Undead Horde. So we actually talked about this game before, back when it was in early access, back before we kind of formulated the show to where we didn't talk about early access games. But yeah, this game is now out. It's Undead Horde, and it is doing very well with 82% positive after coming out of early access. So it's an ARPG where you also just control an undead horde, so you're the bad guy.
Ooh, fun.
Yep.
The first thing that I noticed was that you can control chickens as well. Undead chickens. So yeah, instant thumbs up there.
That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw it's also on the Switch, which interests me because like I mean I'm an avid PC player. Obviously, this is a Steam released podcast. But the games like this interest me in the more like mobile kind of goofing around, like at work, like whatever. I love things where I can just kind of jump into, and this looks fantastic.
Yeah, I do like the fact that it looks simplistic enough, but it's like very, very well done as well. So it looks like, you could just pick it up and, after doing a tutorial or something, you could just jump right in and play.
Well, it looks like, I don't know if, I can't really tell from that trailer, but I'm kind of goofing around on YouTube right now looking at it. It looks like you can equip different weapons to different people. I don't know if that's heroes or if that's actually each individual dead person you raise, but it looks like it's got a lot of variety is what I'm getting at, like a lot of stuff you can kind of pick up along the way.
Yeah, it says endless number of new weapons, trinkets, and magical items. Level up and create the necromancer of your nightmares. Sell and trade your loot with various merchants. Manage shops with upgrades. So you got a shop as well.
That's really cool. Yeah, that seems like a fun game.
Yeah. The sell for it is become a necromancer and raise the dead. Undead Horde is a necromantic action game with elements from RPG, strategy, hack and slash, maraud through the lands of the living, raise their villages, and steal their treasures. Ultimately, you'll take over the whole kingdom of the living. Sounds fun. It's it uses that art style and the fact that it's on this list is pretty impressive because this exact art style is used in so many games, and I think it's because there is an asset set for this, and I believe in not Unreal, but
Unity.
Unity, yes, I do believe there's an asset set that's extremely similar to this. So I see so many shuffleware games with this very similar art style.
Yeah.
But the fact that they kind of took that art style and did something unique with it, and they didn't like just turn the bloom up to 9,000. Good job. You took a game with a nice art style that I'm just sick of, and I'm not sick of this one. So I'm not immediately turned off. So good job.
It looks good. It's £13.49 right now. I don't know how many hours are in it.
Yeah, how long it could be? I feel like this ARPG should be kind of long. I'm seeing like up to 14 hours. 15, 16. Yeah, so I don't exactly know how long this game would be. It's probably on the shorter end for ARPGs. But yeah.
I did see a guy with 29 hours in that list, so I don't know what he was doing.
So I could imagine if they have like a hard mode. Ooh, do they have that? Hard mode? I don't see that. But if they did have a hard mode, which would be excellent, hey, update it with a hard mode. That's always a great way to make an ARPG go way longer. It is developed by 10 Tons Limited, and they have made games such as Tesla vs. Lovecraft, Judge, JYDGE, I don't know how you'd pronounce that, Time Recoil, Spellspire, Basketball Riot. Wow, they have a lot of games. They've got 2 pages of games. So they're a fairly prolific indie developer.
Yes, and there's 3 extra lives pointed out. They made Neochrome as well, which is one as well.
So yeah, with that, we now have another game from Thursday. Irony Curtain from Matryoshka with Love. There we go. All right, Rhodey, you were the one that brought this one up.
Yeah, I mean, we've briefly spoken about this game. I think when Nate was on, because they'd put it on, it was coming out soon. But yeah, so I have actually play tested this game, and that was maybe like a year and a half ago. So they've really like revamped it. They said they redid the graphics, they redid some of the animations, and but it's really funny. You're sort of like an oblivious American, I think you're a scientist, and this is during the Cold War, and he's a journalist. He's like a goofy journalist, but he's completely oblivious to everything, sort of thing. And you're just offering on a holiday and seeing how great the state is and everything, and you're supposed to sort of report on it, and you're also investigating all the dodgy things that are going on. But it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. And you given this really weird hotel room when you first start. So that was the bit that I played. You were in the hotel room, and there was just so many weird things in there. Like a crocodile on the floor.
It looks like good satire, which I can appreciate.
Yeah. It was, for what I played, it was fun. It just needed a bit of ironing out. So and given a year and a half from playing that and giving feedback, and so they obviously did that. But yeah, this is going on my wish list.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna add this one to mine as well. This looks like a fun little game to play on a Saturday. Like, I mean, I'm a big fan of the old, like, just as terribly misogynistic as it was. I remember playing Leisure Suit Larry back in the day, and like just all that so bad. But like, just the art style of this really intrigues me as well. I don't know if it's changed since you played it, but I love the way that it looks.
Yeah, it's just like been a bit more refined. It's like sort of still similar style from when they were playtesting it, but yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
The
But
idea of the satire mixed in with it, it's like if you took Leslie Nielsen from Naked Gun and stuck him in the Cold War, like kind of this goofy, like you said, oblivious, like the oblivious part is what makes me interested. Just to
yeah.
I
It's
love
great,
that. I love that line. It's like, "Welcome to Matryoshka. We welcome you to Matryoshka with open army." That's just like, oh, that's beautiful.
So this developer and publisher, they usually solely do hidden object games. And so this is like the first game that they make really, really good hidden object games. Like the stories are really solid. So this is their first proper point and click game. So this was like there was no hidden object elements to this when I played it. They weren't going in that direction with this game. It's just pure point and click one. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the game is like.
Yeah. That is really cool. It's by Artifex Mundi. Oh yeah, Artifex Mundi. Yep, they are the name when it comes to point and click. So Mundi.
Or hidden object games.
Hidden object. Yeah. So now with them doing a point and click game, that's really cool, and I'm looking forward to see if they are going to continue to do that. So.
Yeah, me too. It's always exciting when they bring out any of their hidden object games, because they'll put in different mechanics which then other developers of point and click games will then adopt and put in their games as well. So they sort of like set a standard, really.
Yeah.
But it's 10% off right now, and it's $13.49. Looking around about 10 to 13 hours of gameplay, depending on obviously on how easy you find puzzles.
Right. Irony Curtain from Matryoshka with Love is a satirical point and click by the classic adventure game, inspired by classic adventure games. It smuggles you out of your comfort zone and throws you into the middle of a Cold War spy intrigue. Yep, that's pretty much the summary. I love it when they actually have a good summary, because some of these are really bad. Like they'll have like the same word 4 or 5 times. Oh my gosh. Ooh. But that's good. Good job.
Sorry, that was my door. Don't worry about it though.
Oh, Mr. Bear.
Mr. Bear.
All right. Okay, so the next title is Spark the Electric Jester, also known as Poor Man Sonic.
I did think
second one, right?
Yes, second one. The first one was 2D, so this is the 3D speedy platformer. And the main thing is just the character design and the color theory is bad. But the graphics are fine. The textures are fine. It's just their combination of colors and the character designs need work.
Yeah, they didn't choose a color palette. It was just... Yeah, I don't... It feels like my niece colored this in a coloring book, which... I do love the speediness of it. Like, it looks really fun. Like, if you could get used to the mechanics, as long as they feel smooth and they, the input doesn't lag at all, like between you and the controller and the controller in the game, it just seems like it could be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
I'm wondering how the boss fights are too, because, well, I guess that's one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I had a look at the Spark one, and I much prefer the look of that to this.
And
I think they should have like stuck with
Spark
that one instead. But yeah,
anytime you go 2D to 3D, it's like, I don't know. Like,
the 2D version does look much more harmonious as far as the art style.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly a ripoff of the Sonic.
Oh, absolutely.
But it does look much nicer in 2D.
Absolutely, yeah. But if you are hankering for more like Sonic kind of games, then maybe try this out and see how you get on with it.
Yeah.
It's £15.49 though, so it's whether you want to put your hard-earned cash on that.
Yeah, $19.99 US. Man, I would actually kind of like to play this. Finally, a Sonic game, because a lot of the Sonic ports to Steam, they are a pain to actually get to work, unless they're like the more recent ones, because they really did not do enough work to make them work on PC without you having to do a ton of stuff.
Oh, but, it's made by essentially by just one person, that reviewer says.
Really?
That's impressive. I'm gonna say that ups the impressive marks for me, because having one guy, that's nuts.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm seeing a couple of things on like, oh, as a solo effort. It's like, really? Oh wow, that's cool. It's good graphics but bad color theory. You know what? All they would have to do is change some of the colors, and this I feel it would be look so much better. But as far as gameplay, the gameplay looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
The main complaints that I'm seeing from reviewers is that the level design is horrid.
Oh no! Oh no!
So
one guy, there's always going to be that, like, oh, he completely fails at color and level design.
Yeah, they said level design is hard. You can skip literally all of it by jumping at a semi-fast pace on an incline.
Oh, so you could speedrun the game in 10 minutes, is what you're saying?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, that is kind of Sonic games.
Yeah.
That's an aspect of it. But wow. So is Spark the Electric Jester. It's going on my wish list. I'll try it.
Tell us. When you try it, you can tell us how it is.
Yeah, it's just cute enough. So, our next title is Koral. Koral, a love letter to the ocean. Dive into the beautiful underwater world as a sea current, solve puzzles, and to bring back to life coral reefs and spread the beauty of the oceans in different sea ecosystems. It has an 88% positive, and yeah, it's quite pretty. Not a good font. Not a good font. It's like Comic Sans, but worse.
I saw another reviewer talking about this, and and they were talking about it. Well, you know, they were playing it, and it was just so beautiful, and it reminds me a little bit of Subnautica, but you're just like going around and just enjoying it rather than, you know, maybe being attacked.
Yeah.
So it's just so like very relaxing, kind of peaceful kind of game. It looks beautiful.
I like the way it looks. The kind of parallax effect, is that what you call it, where like things are kind of in the background, in the foreground, and they kind of move at different speeds, and it makes it look very, very 3D and immersive. And the way that they kind of have designed it looks really good.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that, where it's kind of immersive.
There is an awful lot of glow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
But you know, it is puzzles, so they got 65 puzzles in it, and just that just came up in the trailer. 10 environments. It's very pretty. It reminds me a lot of Koi, which, you know, remember that other game that I played recently.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
One of their big things is like this was developed by a guy on the ocean. So I guess he was on a boat while he was developing it. So I don't know why that's a selling feature, but I guess it's kind of a novelty. It's like, oh, so you developed it on a boat. Good job.
He's just listening to Lonely Island the whole trip.
Yes, I'm on a boat. But yeah, it looks kind of a cool, just chill puzzle type game. Atmospheric. I believe Carlos has made others of these. Carlos Coronado. Yeah, he also made Infernium, Annie Amber, and Mind Path to Talamus Enhanced Edition.
So they're sort of like walking simulators.
Yeah, that seems to be his thing. I think Koral is the most interesting to me.
Infernium says survival horror.
Survival horror.
Infernium, a survival horror. Is that what it says in the description?
Approach to Pac-Man?
What?
The survival horror approach to Pac-Man. Dive into a non-linear, beautiful portrait of hell. Die in prison without bars and overcome a brutal penitence.
Weird.
Okay, then. So you're basically running away from ghosts, and eventually you can get an upgrade that lets you eat the ghosts or something. I'm sure that's what it is. My word, funny. It's neat.
But this is 20% off right now, and it's $7.43. I don't know how long it is though.
Yeah, 65 puzzles, but is that like individual? Like, oh, flip this switch, then flip this switch. There's 10 environments, so at the very least, there's 10 like whole levels.
Yeah.
I'm seeing anything from less than an hour to 2.5 hours, so I don't imagine it's long. It's probably a fairly short game.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it would be that much. It's one of those games that the developer spent a huge amount of time on, and then it's probably one of those where like when they finish and they're like, oh, this is gonna get so many hours of play, and then people are like, I'll beat it in an hour.
Like, yeah.
It's the developer's curse. Like for every hour of gameplay that the player gets, you spend hundreds of hours on it. Yeah. So hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars. But anyhow, our next title, tens of thousands of dollars. Our next title is Bubsy, Paws on Fire.
Bubsy the cat. Oh man.
So this is sort of one of those rip-off games that like your mom would buy for you because she didn't know like what the actual game was. Like, this is Mario, right? It's like, no, Mom. But
you ever played any of the Bubsy series?
No, I've heard a lot about it.
So, at this point, because I'm 33 years old and I played Bubsy on Sega with my sister a lot, I would say that back then it was a rip-off game, but now it has come into its own. It's kind of like Banjo-Kazooie would be a rip-off of Super Mario 64 or whatever other games are around. And now you would consider Banjo-Kazooie, obviously, that was its own series.
Yeah,
and I feel that way like about this, where as soon as I saw this on the list, I was like, they're still making Bubsy games? Like, this is crazy. But it is pretty much the same gist of it. It is Mario. It's not Sonic, because obviously it's not fast-paced. But it is definitely Mario-ish, and they kind of took that, and I guess now they've made it 3D, but it was always just, hey, try to collect all the yarn on the level, because apparently that's what cats do, according to the developers. So,
yep. From the developers of Bit Trip series comes Bubsy, Paws and Fires, the latest and greatest in Bobcat-based gaming. They've got their niche carved out. So it's got a 91% positive. You see 100 levels set across 3 different worlds. Only 3 worlds, but 100 levels. Amazingly enough, it isn't bad at all. And on the third day, he rose again.
Okay. That was incredible praise there. This is bad at all. It's £15.59. It's 20% off right now. I'm surprised there's only like 3 boss battles, but there's 100 levels.
Yeah, there's 3 worlds. Oh yeah, only 3 boss battles too. Wow. Okay then. It's got it's about $20 US.
It's about what I'd expect from that, I guess.
Choice provisions. They also made Runner 3, Tarsus, Laser Life. So yeah.
The weird part about it is it does feel kind of slow on the platformer-ish levels, like where I was just watching a video of it and kind of bouncing between stuff and collecting the yarn. Like it doesn't feel as fast as it could be, and maybe that's just.
Yeah, I was looking at the way where he's where one of the player characters that you sort of like look like you're in a UFO sort of thing, and you look like you're going really slow, just like you're going going like for a nice country drive or something, instead of it being a bit more action packed.
Well,
It
and
looks really
also
weird.
what I think makes it look really slow is also there's these big gaps between every element of the level. Like it's
Yes.
like there's monster, and then there's a gap, another monster, then there's a gap, and then there's one element, and then there's a gap, and then there's a platform, another gap. There's no like multiple things in the same sort of area.
Yeah, I'm seeing that in the video I'm watching too. It's like you're kind of going, you hit a couple of yarn and then you go bounce and then walk, 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 walk,
Yeah.
bounce, walk, 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 walk.
God,
And
this
it's
weeb
like,
is asking how many of these positive reviews are ironic. I mean, it is Steam, so you never know. But well, I have personally heard from a lot of people who like partly nostalgia, partly because like this is probably the best that this series is gonna get. It lacks soul. That's one thing this thing lacks. It lacks soul because it's a rip-off game. But a lot of people have a degree of affection for it because it's not a terrible game. So
yeah, I mean, the only reason I even brought up that hey, Bubsy, cool, it's only because of nostalgia. The game was never great.
yeah.
It was just something to play.
Mm.
So that may be the case for this one. It may be something to do. I'm a little bit more in tune with like Spyro, for instance. So when I heard Spyro remake was coming out, I still haven't gotten it. So.
It has all three, and it's like enhanced. It's got additional features. It's Spyro 3. I want so bad. I mean, the Spyro
that's how you
remake
do nostalgic, right there.
Oh, it's on my wish list. I want it bad.
Merlin. Hi, Merlin.
Oh, Merlin. Nice to see you. Never played Bubsy or Conker's Bad Fur Day, but I am always confused the two games. Oh, you're always confused the two? Conker's Bad Fur Day is rank and nasty. Like, never let a kid play that game. It is not a kid's game. I watched a playthrough. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen, but it is not a kid's game. Oh my god.
It's fantastic. It starts off with a direct reference to A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, wow.
That was one of my favorite things. He's like drinking in the Corova milk bar or whatever and talking about ultra violence. And I'm like, oh.
Humor is adult and very dated. Yeah, they make a lot of movie references that if you were born after 2000, you're not going to understand.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Anyhow, our next title is a Dark Future Blood Red States. When I first saw the title, I was like, is this going to be like another meme game? Oh, and is the developer streaming it? Yeah, the developer's streaming it right now. The developer has a very nice beard. Congrats. But we have... Nope. Right. So
is this kind of like a Mad Max style game, I guess? Or maybe Twisted Metal-ish?
Yeah.
Sort of. So you actually have multiple like cars that are on your side, and so you can slow down time and decide what it's going to do. So you can directly control one. So the closest thing I can imagine is like KOTOR. So do you play KOTOR?
Yes, yeah.
Nice Little Republic. So it's kind of like that, where you can sort of slow down time, queue up some actions for your allies, but still mainly control one vehicle. So it's got that sort of, it's like a tactical car battle race game.
Okay. Yeah, it seems interesting. I played a couple of games it wouldn't be exactly similar to this because the slow down and make your guys shoot at stuff things, that's a bit different. But I remember on PlayStation 1, they had a lot of these like off-brand car games where you kind of drive around. I can't remember the name of it. There was one where you were like a cop in like the year 2100 or something, and it felt very similar to this. Kind of driving around in the future and trying not to die.
Yeah. Yep. Step in the extraordinary dystopian world of Dark Future, filled with danger, chaos, and adventure. A game of both action and strategy unlike any other, featuring a unique time-dilating command mode to help you make tactical decisions on the dangerous highways of this world.
When I first looked at this, I wasn't 100% sure about it. Like you said, it looks a bit like a meme game, but watching it and seeing like how well polished it is and how the slowing down and it reminds me a bit like a Fallout, you can slow it down and then you can where you can shoot and everything. So yeah, it's like that. I like that mechanics of it. However, it's got mixed reviews right now. It's at 68% of the 41 user reviews. And also, it's an interesting thing. This is like supported by Games Workshop as well. I don't. Is it because it's got like the Warhammer characters or something in it, or
I'm not entirely sure. I'm just seeing cars. I don't see any like.
Right at the end of the trailer, it says Games Workshop.
Oh, Games Workshop. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, and they've got the thing here. Games Workshop skulls for the Skull Throne. Oh, maybe. Yeah, it might be blood. It might be a Warhammer universe.
Oh, so people are complaining, like, giving it a thumbs down because game requires internet access. It will not start when you are offline. You will be greeted with a red warning stating the game needs internet access to play, even when you run Steam in offline mode. This is not mentioned in the Steam page.
Oh, and it's a single player game, so it needs online even though it's single player. That is annoying.
That is a way to kill your game.
Yeah.
Your game will die in the dirt if you do that.
Yeah.
And that is annoying. Yep. Even though the developer has a great beard. So this is by Orok Digital. They also made Ogre Achtung Cthulhu Tactics, which was another mediocre game, actually. Last Days of Old Earth. I wonder if they fixed it. Achtung Cthulhu. Nope, it's still mixed, 62%. So these guys, they seem to make, like, not bad looking 60 to 70% positive games. That's what I'm seeing a lot of is mixed games in there.
Did we talk about we think we did talk about the Achtung
yes, we did.
Tactics.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of like it just needed fix. And I think that one also had like let's see, it's single player. Wasn't Always Online also complaint with that one?
Maybe.
Maybe stop doing that. If that was the case.
Should go in there while the developer's streaming and be like, did you have to be always online to grow that beard? Just mess with them. Like,
oh, that is dirty. Online only for single player. Yep. Yeah, and Hitman sales suffered immensely from Always Online DRM, as as we've mentioned. Yep.
It's 25%. Oh, sorry.
No, you're go ahead.
It's 25% off right now. So it's $14.99, but the full price is like 20 quid. So I don't know if I'd put down that amount of money for it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the even for me, and this is just personal opinion, I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me on this. Even in games that have like an online account attached, like you pop into LA Noire and you're like, I want to play. It's like Rockstar, boo, and it pulls down and it's all in your face. Like, log into your Rockstar account now, and it's like, I cannot stand that. Like, put it in the top corner, leave it alone, let it be kind of hidden away, and then let me decide if I want to, get those features. But it's so online only for single player games is a no. And then the stupid things that try to like pop in and bug you with your account or for whatever it is, it's like, ugh.
Yep. And with that, that's all of our Thursday games. We are on our last game of the list, Friday, May 17th. Dawn of the Lost Castle, and in front of it is a lot of Chinese text, which unfortunately Steam does not let you query Chinese text, which that needs to be fixed probably if we're going to be like with the Chinese user base. But so Dawn of the Lost Castle. This is a Chinese developed game. It does apparently have English support, but it seems to largely communicate in-game non-verbally. Like in the story, there's a lot of like sort of visual puzzle and storytelling, which, kudos to that. So Dawn of the Lost Castle is an adventure puzzle trying to solve all the mysteries in the castle to understand the story of the castle. So, broken English. In there, I'm going to assume in-game the English translation is a little bit broken as well. But this attracted me as it was just it's just a nice little sort of puzzle adventure game with 2D platformer. And it's a bit slower paced, but some of the puzzles, like there's this light puzzle, there's wall breaking puzzle. It just seemed pretty simple, and it's $4.89.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because in the game itself, and I may show this in the trailer, but from what I've seen in it, it's when you open up chests and such, the lock picking mechanism is like a physics, like one of those ball mazes where you have to like try to get the
yeah.
ball to like drop. You have to turn it so it drops
Yeah.
in, and I think that's really cool instead of the old lock pick,
Yeah, and they
thing that
got
every game
slider
does now.
puzzles, yeah, as well. Yeah, which
Yeah,
is
I think that's really
interesting.
unique. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool to add that in a little bit.
Yeah.
It is nice to have a variety of puzzle types.
It
Yep.
interesting to me. They got the platforming element looks so stiff. I don't like the animation for it because it's just like you're holding the light and you just like jumping very stiffly. It looks really odd, but yeah.
It is
The
pretty
graphics,
floaty.
they remind me a little bit of kind of like the Slay the Spire, like flash art, almost like how you see like flash games. It still looks like it could be a lot of fun though, as far as the platform goes.
Yep. Yeah. Lots of nice little puzzles and everything. Yeah.
It seems like a casual puzzle type game, and you know what? I would probably play this. I don't know about putting it on my wish list because I've got so many other games on the wish list, but I could definitely see myself having fun for $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a coffee.
Yeah, it's like 30% off right now, and it's £3.63. So it's.
Yeah, so it's not even that. I don't even think it's that big of an investment then. So how long are people playing it for?
I see the longest 6 hours, then 4 hours, then a lot of around 1 hours. All of the reviews are in Chinese. So I do not read that yet. So yeah. But yeah, so Dawn of the Lost Castle if you're so interested. And with that is the end of our release list. Oh, wait, this is by Happy Game. I wonder if they've developed anything else. No, they have not. Never mind. They do have a free demo for Dawn of the Lost Castle. So if you want to play the demo.
Can I just say my favorite thing is if you do like me and search Dawn of the Lost Castle gameplay on YouTube, one of the first videos says the title, Dawn of the Lost Castle, early access gameplay, ultra settings. And I love that. Like ultra like what? This isn't Crisis 2. Like
no, my word. Ultra settings.
And I looked at it, looks exactly like in the review video. So
ultra set. Yeah, that's like Super Mario 3 ultra settings.
Yeah. I'm playing it in 1980p, like 1080p. Okay, well, whatever you're doing, man.
Good job, man. That's a graphics whore if I've ever seen one.
One of the complaints on that game, real quick. Also, somebody says the sounds aren't good in the game,
which I find good.
Yeah. I didn't really listen for them though.
The audio in the video is pretty low. Let me see.
I'd wonder because you know how some games will come out and you'll hit something with your weapon, and then you do it so often in the game, and then you start to hear it and realize like, oh, I have to hear that chunk noise every time, and it's like terribly recorded, and you're like, oh, it's so bad.
I think these point and click games that Merlin was playing, and the walking sound, it was like
yeah,
it's so bad. I can't remember what those games were called, but there was a series of them by Yahtzee Croshaw. And yeah, they were just so bad.
I love when game critics develop a game and it's not great. I just love that. I mean, not to throw shade at Yahtzee. I actually like Yahtzee's critiques very much, but I do find it funny when they when like some of these personalities make a game and it's not bad, but it's certainly not up to their standards.
Oh yeah. Well, it's kind of like when you see Stephen King make fun of a movie that was based on his book, like, oh, that's terrible. They used my book. That's terrible. And then he goes and makes his own movie, and he was coked out of his mind. Maximum Overdrive, if you haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastically bad. Just all the 18-wheelers in the world and other machines come to life to kill people. And while the short story was fun, the movie was yeah, he was like, I'm never directing a movie again.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let other people do it now.
Yeah, 5 Days a Stranger series. Yeah, this story was really good and everything. It was just that those walking sounds. They were just like, wow.
That one thing takes you out of the immersion. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
So we finished the release list, but we still have a little bit more for everyone. Rhodey, you always collect, it's become a tradition, Rhodey's list of horrors. What terrible games do you have to show us from this week on Steam? We do this just to make sure you know, like, these are the games that we sifted through. And we just found the gems of the bad ones to show you. So
the first one is Peanut.
All right. Oh no.
Oh wow.
Just yeah.
A classically styled corgi 2D platformer adventure game with an indie-cest with an intriguing storyline, not a puzzle platformer, more puzzling story platformer, or corgi noir, but cheerier. Level by leveling. Level by level, you get closer to truth. Okay.
Can I just say? So obviously, I've not got the music on right now, but when the music, it's just like they don't match. So you got heavy metal playing while this trailer's going.
Oh yeah.
It's like, just because you like a particular genre of music does not mean that it matches with the game.
No.
Yeah, this definitely looks like one of those off-brand games my 6-year-old niece would be playing when I go over to her house. Like something for learning, but it really doesn't teach you learning. Maybe hand-eye coordination, but
yeah,
I could probably make this in Game Maker Studio real quick.
Yeah, it's like go play this and leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly. This is like a time waster just for your kid to stop bothering you.
And it's I was surprised this wasn't free, but no, it's not. It's this 15% off right now. It's £3.22. Normal price is £3.79. So yeah, I was surprised that they would
Some
charge.
of the backgrounds are also really distracting.
Oh yeah.
Like the color scheme and everything, it just almost, it's like too much.
Yeah.
You can't quite tell what's in the background and what's in the foreground sometimes.
There are 45 levels of play, so...
Yep. And so you have like corgi and buxom corgi.
So the next one is called Rigid Chess.
Rigid Chess. All right.
Chess, yeah. Rigid Chess, like a chess game. Yeah.
A novelty futuristic interplanetary themed chess set with AI module and many extra features detailed herein. So it's chess with a skin.
Yeah, and one of the key selling points that they put on the list about the game was that it's got it had a lot of the backgrounds. It was talking about how great the backgrounds were and stuff, and it was just like, yeah, 60 fully controllable, multi-speed rotatable, interplanetary themed backgrounds. Yeah. And
I'm excited to see how you can screw up chess, Godless Weeb says. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Let's see how this happens.
I mean, there are ways to make good board games. Like, you can make a puzzle chess where it's like you have chess puzzles and maybe some degree of... you could even have a storyline in a chess game. I've seen it where it's like, you know, you're in a chess tournament and it's all about like you have to beat your rivals and this whole side story going along with this chess game. But there's a way to do it well.
Yeah,
this is not it.
No, there's I mean, when I was a kid, there was this game called Battle Chess, and it's like you'd play. It teach you how to. See, Merlin Temple knows, yeah, and it's like when you go to take a piece of your opponent, they would actually come to life and like fight each other. So, you know, they take you out. Yes. It's so good. They actually did bring out a Kickstarter, but I only saw it after it had failed, unfortunately, and they hadn't picked it up again.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, this is £7.19.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't understand why you'd charge that much for something like this, but
but they have a scenario creator.
I do see that, yeah. So that's interesting to me. It's like kind of interesting to be like, oh, I wonder what would happen if, you know, if it was laid out like this. But that's also about 5 minutes of my time, and then I would be done with it.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And again, this is something you could make in Godless Way was mentioning about the previous game. I could make this in 5 minutes. It's well, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you could make it in a very little amount of time. I think
what happened here was somebody was in their coding class and they decided to make a chess game to see if they can do it. And then instead of throwing it in the trash like we do with all of our other games that we mess with, you know how you make like, oh, I'm going to make Pac-Man or I'm going to make Tetris just to see if I could program it.
Yeah.
They took that and went, oh, let me find some 3D backgrounds and release it on Steam and see if I can make a quick buck. Yeah. I really do think that's what happened because that's what it looks like.
Looks like it. And I just have one more game to share with you, and then you can be free out in the world.
Well, apparently this is part of the Rigid Body franchise. There's a franchise of these Rigid games. It's wonderful.
Wow. What else is there?
Rigid Body franchise.
It's like Rigid Wheel of Fortune. You can't spin the wheel because it's too rigid.
Oh no, they're just this is their only game, but they're being like they're being really optimistic that they're gonna have a franchise.
Oh, okay.
They think this is the next Marvel movie. Like, oh, we're gonna have one every year, baby. Let's do it.
Oh yeah. Okay. So what was the next one?
Okay, so this is the last one. I put the name in the chat. So
Barrel Tours. Oh, this looks like it's just up your alley. Let me see. Let me look at the video.
Koral Tours, a 2D Metroidvania RPG game.
Oh.
The ones that the
okay. Well.
But instead of collecting power-ups, you collect Koral Tours. They're these little monsters.
What are these little speech bubbles? Cool. Thanks. Awesome. Like.
You know what I'm talking about.
And I think there's in the trailer. I know you haven't got the volume up, but the guy is actually telling you about the developers telling you about
what is this? Nice dad, very slick.
Evil bad man.
Nice bone structure. So it's an attempt at hand-drawn art.
Yeah.
Which is fun, but also it doesn't seem to apply well to the physics of the game.
No. As a meme game, though, I'm kind of liking it.
Are you?
I don't know. Like, I'm like, oh, this... I don't know. It just looks... It's at the point where it's, like, all so consistently bad looking that it all kind of fits together. I don't know. Like, I'm actually feeling a little attached to it.
You should hear what the mechanics are of the game, though, that he tells you about in the trailer, and it just sounds completely nonsensical. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, if this is a serious attempt at a serious game, then not sold on it. But, and if it's not, it should be completely satire. If they went back and he changed all the dialogue and made it just absolutely ridiculous, like Castle Crashers, like hilarious, like I would actually absolutely buy this. Like,
and I'm looking at it, it's like a lot of work actually went into this.
What was that map system there? I liked how that looked.
That was a nice map system. So it's an indie 2D Metroidvania that focuses on collecting monsters called Barrel Tours. Barrel Tours feature over 70 player monsters, unique hand-drawn art style, and an absurd story with over 15 hours of gameplay. Barrel Tours is a fun romp that feels as satisfying as petting your neighbor's dog.
All right, that's pretty good.
Not your dog, your neighbor's dog.
Your neighbor's dog, yeah.
So
screw your dog. He doesn't deserve the attention.
No. Absolutely.
I like how someone said very specifically in that review, this isn't AAA.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like we couldn't tell. Better than jelly beans. Oh, my word.
But yeah, I think this is either a love it or hate it kind of game. But it looks so strange and out there. There is a story around 10 to 20 hours of gameplay, local 2-player co-op, 4 difficulties, 64 different playable abilities, each with unique animations and abilities. There's 15% off right now, and it's £4.92. So yeah, this is a love it or hate it style, definitely.
I'm interested in the actual like what the game has to offer as far as like you see stat points and different, like he had a bow with like different damage amounts, and like that seems like Dewey Bear said, it seems like a lot of work went into this as far as like the mathematics behind the combat, which I find super interesting. Like, how long did it take them to set this up?
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes a lot of effort goes into a duker. But man, I'm just looking at this, and I have a lot of affection for whoever this developer was.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like this is one of those that I might not say is an amazing game, but I will say that this is a lot of effort, and I would definitely approach this person at a convention and be like, "All right, I'll give you credit. That was
I need to talk to you about this."
Yeah, you did a holy crap load of stuff. Now, just go back and add the satire in.
Yeah, I have questions. About this, but shaking your hand is there's a lot of work that's gone into it. Yeah.
Whose nightmare did you turn this into? Like,
yeah, it's $6.79 US. So if you want a duker of a game, but man, I have so much affection for this. Like already, I'm like, oh, it's so cute. It's like a.
I kind of want to add it just to my wish list for a Steam, like one of those nights where you just played random Steam games and just get. I'm just gonna be drunk and play. My chat's gonna be like, "What is going on right now?"
Yeah, it's like a puppy born with 3 legs and in 1 eye, and it's just like, "Aw, it's still a puppy." Like, "Aw, broken puppy." Okay, so with that's our list of horrors. I am curious what you guys thought was the best of the list. So, Chris, what was your favorite on the list?
Probably so. I don't know. I lean toward more of a Plague Tale Innocence because of the. I lean toward that style of game, kind of stealthy, story based, like where you kind of run through. The rats freak me out a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. Like when I saw that in the trailer, I was like, "Oh, there's so many." But it seems like a really heartfelt story, and that's one of the things that I go for in a game. Whether it's 2D, obviously, because I, as I mentioned earlier, Undertale was fantastic. But yeah, I just realized that I guess Sean Bean is in it.
Yeah, so. Sean Bean is in it, and I think he voices one of the. I think he voices one of the. This guy.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems interesting. That'd probably be on top of the list, as well as Druidstone, the one that was basically kind of turn-based. I really dug the art style on that, and the fact that it's like turn-based with a grid, but it doesn't focus on the grid so much as it does the immersive like graphics around you, especially like in the grassy areas. I love the look of that.
Nate, not great. I think Sean Bean is their dad who gets murdered. So I think he's maintaining his role as the guy who dies, the guy with an excellent voice who dies horribly.
Do you think he goes in for a casting call and they're just like, "You're gonna die," and he's like, "All right, I guess." Like again.
He did. I think he did like a Wired interview recently. They did a thing in like the internet. It's like why'd you die in so many films? Why does Sean Bean die in so many films? And he says, "Oh, let me count. I've survived in 2 movies. Yeah, I need to work on that."
He's survived.
It's a payday.
It's like as soon as you see him, it's like, well, he's not going to live very long.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
He looks for roles that have more input. Yeah, I guess that means that generally you're going to die. Yep. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on a Plague Tale and Druidstone being up there. What about you, Rhodey?
I think Irony Curtain.
Irony Curtain.
Yeah, that's That's on my wish list right now. So yeah, when I whittle down a few more games, I'm waiting until I get down to completed 200 games, and we're at 189 right now. So getting close. So and then I'm going to pick up a few games. So yeah.
Yeah, that one looks like it definitely has the funny factor, and to me that's a seller on a game. Like if it has, even if it's just random dialogue throughout the game, like that just kind of makes you chuckle, like to me that is definitely it adds character to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say that I also agree Druidstone is definitely on my list. So Irony Curtain looks fantastic as well. So yeah, I think we've got our 3 top games for the list pretty easily selected. So yep. And with that, we have just a section for some shameless plugging. So ChristopherClever, I would like you to let everyone here know who you are and where they can find you.
I am a variety Twitch streamer on Twitch. I play a lot of different games. I game jump a lot, which I guess kind of makes me perfect for one of these podcasts. But so I play a variety of different stuff. Sometimes I'll play the typical like battle royale games with friends just for community nights. But mostly I do like story-based games. I did a whole Life is Strange playthrough, like things like that, emotional impact. And for the funnier stuff, I'll stick to games like like we recently played Skyrim, and that was just an absolute blast with chat. You can find me at twitch.tv/ChristopherClever, just as my name suggests. I'm also on Twitter at @TheChrisClever because apparently Twitter can't let me spell out the full name. So that's fun. And I also run a community called Clever Nation. Whether you're a Twitch streamer or not, or even if you're just a Mixer streamer or YouTube streamer, you can always stop by. That is clevernation.net. You can go there and join our Discord, and I think we have almost 400 people in there. We all just support each other and play games together, and it's just a big old gaming community.
Yeah. And I'm always impressed with, even like with it being a pretty large community, it's really easy to get to know people and just chat and hang out. So it's impressive. I've quite enjoyed being part of the Clever Nation. So
yeah, it's a good place to make friends, and I think that's the biggest part. I'm actually going to Nashville in like 2 weeks, I think, a week. Well, about 10 days really. And I get to meet Ogre Magi and his wife, so it's gonna be
oh, that's awesome.
Fun. Yeah, it's nice to bring people together and find people from all over the world. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be at TwitchCon, yeah, and we all get to hang out and like, they're actual friends for more than a year, so it's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah,
you need to hunt down all the UK people in the Clever Nation.
We have quite a few. We have quite a few. We actually have a channel in there for conventions, but even if you just want to post in there and say like for a meetup, like, hey, I'm in the UK, here's where I am, let's do a meetup this time, you could probably find a lot of people who would respond.
I know I found a Merlin temple when I first joined Clever Nation. It was like, oh, who likes like narrative games? And she was the only one who spoke up and said, oh, do you like point and click games? Like, yes, point and click games.
And a beautiful friendship was born.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So how about Rhodey? What about you? Where do people find you?
Right, well, it seems like I've not been doing my like Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I've been doing like a Saturday stream. But you can find me at Rhodey Pie on Twitch, and I've been playing some point and click games. Hopefully I'll finish the Perils of Man this week, and we'll start a few more other games.
Oh, Perils of Man, good luck with that.
Oh yeah, I think I've either got 20 minutes of it left or 2 hours, depending on what the puzzles are going to be like. We're just on the last section. I would have powered through last night, but I had some like very strange people come into my channel and were demanding that I say sliced apples in Dutch and of various other weird like phrases in Dutch. All of them seem quite innocent. I don't know what, but yeah,
that's strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I run into like just Twitch people and it's just like you're not even being like malicious, and I'm just wondering what your goal with this is. What are you talking about? It's just strange. I think it's just people like, oh, I bet I could get this person to do that, and they're gonna make a video compilation and put on YouTube.
Yeah. It was just weird, and I said, no, I don't want to learn Dutch. I want to play my game.
As for me, I am Dewey Bear. I don't stream as much as I used to. I'm trying to stream a lot this week though, because it is the charity. It is the Stack Up Charity Week, and I'm trying to hit my goal. Yeah, Ogre Magi, he's a part of the Clever Nation. He kind of like springboard this whole thing, and it's a cool program for a great cause. You can look it up down below, or every now and then a post will show up in my chat that lets you know about it. Actually, I think I can like... Oh no, I didn't make that command yet. I need to make that command. So working on that. You can find me here, Twitter, YouTube. This VOD will be going up on YouTube, of course. Hi, YouTube folks. And with that, that's our release list for today.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Any last words?
No, thanks for coming in and joining us and chatting with us as always.
Be kind to other people.
Be kind to other people. Good one.
I'm not even being sarcastic. Like that's my advice for life. Do it.
That's pretty good advice.
Yeah.
So so we're gonna say farewell to the YouTube folks, and then we're gonna find someone to raid. So
bye everybody. Bye.
And cut! Episode 28! Yeah!